Hello YouTube, this is a preview of my upcoming new gauge, multi-display gauge with 5 displays as you can see. And I did make a video a long time ago with 6 displays on a PCB, but that never got made because it was just, it needed an enclosure, and at that time I didn't have a CNC machine to mill the enclosure, and the 3D printers weren't even readily available, so it got stuck. But anyhow, meanwhile all that changed and my PCBs changed from what I did before, and this will be a gauge. Let me show you the first version. Looked like this with square corners, and then I changed it to the half round, and the locations changed a little bit on here. On here too, I was gonna name it shift light here, and then I figured I put a name for it up there, which at the moment I call it V gauge. If anybody has any suggestions, please let me know. As you might know, V stands for 5, and since it has 5 displays, that's how it came to the name. And these are the cutouts for the displays. Excuse me. I will make the displays like I do on my oscilloscope, on which the display gets mounted from behind, and then it's gonna be flush in the front. And this has of course neopixels on here, and since I did not want them to be sticking up on the PCB, they will get, actually the whole will get milled out in a square, and the neopixels will be mounted from the back. So in the front you will have just the view of the neopixel. And I ordered some. These here are all white, and I ordered some where the white part is black actually, so you just see the round lens. So that's how it's gonna look like, and that's gonna be a shift light. You will be able to adjust the colors, the shift points, the whatever you can think of, you can adjust it. And this is the display for it. It will have a GPS, which will show the speed in big digits, and then it can show the info in smaller digits. It will have a gear indicator, or that's another clue, it will have the OLED bootloader on this chip and the micro SD card, so you can change the code that's on here as you go without the need for a PC. You just select it from the navigation switch, which does also work with this. This is gonna be on the back PCB, and then you will be able to upload code. And the other display will be controlled by ESP module, like this one here, ESP12, and therefore will have wireless capabilities. So this will be the front PCB with the OLED displays mounted on from the back. I will have the same size PCB on the back, which will get all the electronics, the switches and whatnot. And the two PCBs will be connected by a flexible wire with connectors, like you see them like in cell phones or somewhere. And so it can be disconnected, you can take it apart. Well, as a user you won't need to take it apart, but for me it's important, so I can take it apart or actually put it together while soldering it, because you're gonna have 2 PCBs, and this is gonna be the front, this is gonna be the back with the parts on it, and the flat wire cable is gonna be either on the side or from the bottom, probably from the side because I need the bottom for something else. I will tell you in a second. And then this is gonna get flipped together, and since the electronics have a certain height, I won't be able to put this onto each other, so I need a little space, and that space will be made with a laser cut acrylic. Obviously it's going to be just a frame with openings on the sides where it needs to, and a big opening in the middle for all the electronics, and that will be screwed together. These holes here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 are for the screws. The screws I'm using are 2mm round head, which are really unobstructive, so they won't stick out, and the front's gonna be flat black. I'm actually picking up on Monday my new PCBs for the stealth racer that I'm bringing out, for my CNC controller and some other items that I will make a video, of course. And so the front will be flat black, and as you see here on my OLED track, which is also coming out on Monday, the display is recessed in the back and it does not give a flush front, so I did not want to do it this way. So they will be flush, like on my, let me put it out here, like on my OLED scope. As you see, the display is flush, and these are actually the 2mm screws that I'm using, and as you see, they're not that visible. And where did I get stuck now? I was gonna say, oh yes, you will have 4 LEDs. Will have green ones on the sides that you can use as a turn signal, a red one and a blue one for your oil control and your high beams, for example. I might make 3 LEDs in here, I don't know yet. And that will be the basic setup. I'm missing something that I was gonna say. Oh, it will also have a BME 280 pressure, humidity and temperature sensor. And this whole thing will be, it is 120mm wide, 70mm high, and it's gonna be 7.2mm thin. It's gonna be real thin. Plus I'm gonna make a docking station on the bottom, so if you have this in your car, you can just stick it out and take it with you. 2 reasons for that. First of all, it's a theft prevention. You don't want anybody to steal this. Plus I'm gonna offer multiple docks that you can use also at home, and you could use this practically as a racing simulator with the shift light and speed and RPM and whatnot. You will also be able to use this on a bike, in a car, on a boat, on a small aircraft if you want to. Any moving vehicle. You can use it on your bicycle if you want to, if you think you're going fast enough. So as I said, this code can be changed, and I'm going to supply whatever I have with this unit, so you can change it on the go. You don't need a computer, you don't need nothing. So that will be a clue. What I also want to do, if it's going to be practically coming in 2 versions. One is going to be like with the open front like this, and one version, it could be even upgradable, will have another acrylic piece on the front. So that will make it waterproof, not water resistant, not waterproof, excuse me, water resistant. And actually I just thought of it, I could, since it's laser cut, I can mill out a groove and put a rubber seal in it. So that would make it really tight, and the same on the back. So between the PCB and the acrylic, I could have a groove cut out and put a seal in it. Kinda like you have on waterproof enclosures. Let me show you here. See the seal? It's just a groove and it's in there. And once you close this up, that's pretty much waterproof. I'm okay if it's water resistant. I mean, nobody's gonna go diving with this. Although maybe you could strap this to your arm and see how fast you're diving. Nah, joke aside. But anyway, this will be my V-gauge, and if anybody has a better idea for the name, please let me know. you will be rewarded with a 10% off or something like that. I don't know, I haven't figured out yet, but you will get something for it. So if you have any ideas for improvements or changes, you can let me know. I'm open for ideas and critique. And I'm not saying that I'm gonna incorporate all of them, because that's just not possible. Everybody has something else on his mind. But I think I'm covering pretty much a wide spectrum with this. The GPS will be in a black box, so it's not going to be on here, it's going to be separate, so you can mount it anywhere that you need to. The reason is I want to keep this thing slim. I don't want it to have it thick and with the GPS antenna and everything, because the thinnest GPS I have is about this size. This is what I'm using in my OLED track, and you can see the antenna here, and I don't want the antenna there. So this is the antenna, and I want to keep this as a separate small black box. And it also will have a rotary encoder, so you can adjust the RPM with a shift light to all its settings. And to upload code to this, I will use my navigation switch, which will go on the back PCB. On the side somewhere, it's gonna have micro SD card slot, and it's gonna have the ESP. It's gonna have the sensor. I might solder it directly by getting the sensors itself, or using this. I might use this on the external also. I don't know yet. I could put this with the GPS together, but no, that's not a good idea, because the GPS gets a little warm and it would give false readings for the temperature on the BME sensor. So that I will figure out, but so far this is the plan. Yeah, for the LEDs that are gonna be in here, I'm using the flathead LEDs like I did on my OLED track, and they are just flush with the PCB. I will not make the silver lining to it. You can see it here. I will not make a silver lining to it, because this is gonna be in anyhow, so the writing will be in gold. But this is how, let me look around the camera, this is how this thing gets set in here. So it will be flush with the front. I could even glue it in there, so it will be watertight. Will not let any water go in there. Anyhow, I think this was it. I am sure I did forget one or two things to say about it, but as soon as I have the PCBs, I will of course make more videos. Anyhow, this is my new 5 display gauge. Those are, by the way, 0.96 displays, all OLED displays. I could make them in white, blue, mixed, or yellow blue. It will depend on the application, and of course you will be able to choose that when you want to buy it. I think this is it. Thanks for watching, and take care everybody.